Howdy, brothers and sisters. We are the Conscious Evolution, and welcome to the Church of Love. I am your divinely guided host, Dude Man. How's everybody doing? Y'all doing great? Everybody having a interesting day? Hey, I know the mic looks weird. It's a sock. I kind of had to because I think there's a grounding issue within this microphone, and I found that out by wearing these socks. Because these socks, I made my own grounding wires that go in these socks that are going to hopefully help my circulation. They sell special socks for this stuff, but man, I ain't got the money for all that. So basically, I'm wearing nylon and spandex. Or is it polyester? Oh, it's polyester and spandex. It's basically all the same kind of crap. Woven plastic, I guess. Okay, nobody's talking here at the moment. Let's have some fun. Who it all, everything on our own. We don't need, oops, the words ain't up here. Need thing or anyone. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Don't I know how to say how I feel? Man, that's kind of hard to get in there, like up in here and then back down. Let's see here. Those three words, kind of phlegmy. Said too much, not enough. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. Name that tune. And we'll play Name That Tune. Who's got it? Finger in the Ear. uh, hey, I had the copper magnet bracelet things, but every time I would take them off to take a shower or whatever, they eventually bent too much and broke, so I ain't got those no more. Hockey's not. Oh my God. Wait a minute, dude. Hold on. You just gave me a serious flashback. I swear to God, I think that's a word my dad said. I'm serious. It gave me like a flashback to my dad, and I'm like, where does he come up with this stuff? That's interesting. How you doing today, Thomas? Are you well? Yeah, that's why I had them. Arthritic condition things. That song plays on the PA at work. You got one of them jobs where they play the radio all the time. I tell you what, man, it kind of suck. Sometimes when I'm in the stores, man, they play crap. But over the last couple of days, man, I think they know I'm there. I like went in the other day and there was Raspberry Beret, and I was dancing around. And today I'm just going along doing my normal thing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's Freeze Frame from the Jake Isles band, and I'm like, I'm freeze, and I'm doing trying to do spin moves in the middle of the store. And it's kind of hard to dance walk because you want to stop for a minute, boogie down, but you got to get from point A to point B. So you're still trying to boogie down while you get from point A to point B, and you got to be careful because you can start knocking stuff over, or things fling out of your hand or hit somebody. So you got to be really careful. Oh man, Home Depot. Oh yeah, man. You know that song. I've listened to it here and there, but if I had to listen to it all the time, I think I would beat my head against. Now the boxes wouldn't help. Maybe I had to go over to the lumber section. You know, just go up to some pine. You know, like 2 by or something. Just go bam, bam, bam. Oh man. Yeah, it's a bad thing about working stores like that. It's almost like brainwash. I remember working in a mall for a cleaning service where we did floors. So we went into various stores and did the floors and stuff in there. And it was during Christmas time. Oh my God. I did. It was like, if there was anything that ever made me want to shoot myself right here, right now, it's this damn music coming through the speakers. Because it was the same thing over and over and over and over. It felt like he's being brainwashed. It's like, I don't care. Would somebody please eliminate Christmas? Oh man. Ah. You side to side while doing breathing, you get hockey snot phlegm. Ugh. Alrighty then. I already got this. Well, had this weird phlegm issue over the last couple of days, but like I said, it relates to that hole where that tooth was taken out. That actually creates a pathway between my mouth and my sinus tract, which is really strange. But I think I might be getting it more better under control. Um, 'Cause I remade some toothpaste again, which is basically just, well, it ain't basically nothing. It is. It's just baking soda that I threw in the bottom of a coconut oil container that had enough coconut oil to mix around with it. Mixed it around. Seriously, if you go in there, you just look up there and you're like, "Where's the toothpaste?" Say, "See that thing that says coconut oil?" Open it up and you get some out. It's baking soda and coconut oil. But I was rinsing my mouth with peroxide yesterday, and it actually went up into the tract and came out my nose. Kinda like when your kid, like, pop comes out your nose and all that foamy stuff from the carbonation. Yeah, it's kinda like that, and it burns too because, well, it's peroxide, you know? I don't know how healthy it is to have that in there, so I made sure, like, try and rinse things really good. Oh, you know what I used to do, the tone, to catch actual regular tone now? Because it's hard, a lot of times you gotta catch it on, playback, but when I'm really actually trying to sing and learn it, dude, I swear to God, just get a set of studio monitor headphones, a good set, and you don't have to pay a whole lot of money. Like I said, I'm not trying to push this company or anything, so I won't show the actual name. Of course, I use all their stuff and have been for many years. But I can't help it. They give good sound, and they don't charge you stupid money for their products, man. They make video game systems and everything. Everybody knows who they are. Starts with an S. But seriously, don't get headphones that are tuned to bass to anything. You want actual studio monitors just like you use in recording, because actual studio monitors can be speakers or headphones. And these things are so, I call them tattletales, because what happens is they pick up every nuance. They go all the way down to the lowest bass and all the way up to the highest frequencies that we can hear, but they're dead neutral and completely clear. So clear that I can hear people literally dropping pencils and shit when I'm listening to YouTube and their kids or somebody's in the background. And because I noticed when I put these on, like it was like that with my bass. I was like, man, you got to be very careful. One string rings just a teeny bit. It was like Rick Beato was talking about. It's like you can hear that. You got to make sure that you have stuff muted on this hand and this hand, especially on like a 5 string bass because all them strings want to rattle. So I noticed when I was trying to sing and I had these on, it was perfect because it made me literally, oh, okay, I'm off by at least 2 or 3 steps, raise it, lower it, all that stuff, man. because I can notice it this way. But yeah, when you're just singing like this with some speakers sitting in the background, you can't really hear what's going on. When you play it back, you're like, ooh, that was like this right now. I guarantee you when I play it back later, I'm going to laugh because I'm going to be like, can't believe I do that crap live in front of people. It's like somebody practicing karaoke, but I don't care. I do it to give everybody fun, so they can see that, hey, man, anybody can pull this stuff off. If this guy, if this silly guy can go on, line and practice karaoke in front of us, well then, somebody like me over here, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, can just go, you know what? I'm gonna make videos too. I wanted to make some videos about stuff. Why not? I gotta be careful. This thing's still shocking me. Something to do with that stereo on that side there. I probably should pull these things out of my socks, but it's funny because my body's telling me to do certain things, and then I catch a thing. I think it was Michael Love, um, but it was something that some guy had a few different people's stuff that he was uh, putting in his little broadcast. He does like daily things, and he gets different. Oh, I forget what you call them, but when other people do posts and different stuff like that, and they were talking about the grounding and all that stuff. Importance of all that right now. Um, So that's why I kept these on there. And I got lucky. Somebody left some stuff here the other day for me, and there was some activated charcoal bar soap with this really cool. I can't remember. Something starts with B. A certain kind of clay in it. So last night before I went to bed, I took an Epsom salt bath, and then after I drained the water out from that, then I took a shower and I used that soap. You know, and then I came in here and I took the grounding thing and had copper tape lining across the bed so it's the best spot I could get because I can't really put stuff on my feet and sleep because I can't sleep with socks on. I just can't do it. So I had it to where it laid under my legs. Like when my legs laid down, there's a piece of cardboard under the sheet that pushed that up. So them little things that I just showed you, these battery terminal things, they laid under that copper tape, and that copper tape hit me on the back of my legs as I slept. And I listened to like I don't know, some what was it, like beautiful enchanting forest music kind of stuff that had like a happy kind of tone to it and sound. Not like that music. A lot of times we get this for sleeping that's always like in a minor key and sounds sad, but actual something sounded happy. And then had a couple tracks that played in the background, like 3 hour tracks. One of them's like a like Victorian type era, like raining with a crow, somebody going down the street with a horse and a carriage, down a cobblestone road, that kind of thing. ASMR stuff. Yeah, I'll show you. I had a different version of this last night, but I made I'm well yesterday, but I made this one last night. My plug thing's a little crooked. But the actual end started out as something from a phone charger. But this is an actual ground plug from a wire that I have. I have a whole box full of stuff like that. And this is actual regular AC wire. I stripped it down inside here and woven it all together. I opened this up and on the back end, and I stuck the wire in about that far, and I loaded this full of solder, and then I turned around, took the soldering iron, put it down on the top, and melted all the solder down inside here with the wire, and then of course, let it cool down and everything, and then glued this. I put it in there, it's good and snug, but I still went ahead and glued it anyways, around here and around here, and then taped it, and it plugs right into the ground receptacle, and there's nothing sticking off of it, so it cannot be, it can't catch any, electricity from the live prongs up top. Hello, my skies. Showing the grounding wire thing that I made. That's actually the wire goes all the way up inside here, and this thing's full of solder. I melted it down in there. Because don't have to actually stick the soldering iron down there and try and melt it. I thought to myself back when I worked in a machine shop, I ran a spot welder, and basically what I did with the thing that I was making is I loaded it full of, what I was using to do that with, and you put the top down and you hit it with electricity, and bam, all that stuff just melts in the spots that it's supposed to, and when it hit like boom, 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 boom. Anyways, whole nother story. But yeah, that's the end that plugs in, and then I got two ends that look like this. And I did the same thing in these. These were full of solder too that I melted down in there. And then, you know, I didn't have to glue anything in here, of course, because I melted the solder all the way around the inside so it's solid. And then I taped it. And I got them sitting under these socks that I'm hoping will help circulation because I'm starting. It's kind of like my grandma's and my mom's body type and the way of my wrists and my ankles and a few other things, facial features. I mean, I even got my friend said I had hips like a woman, and I really do because I got grandkids, I've raised kids, I've babysat kids. They sit on my hip perfect, man. It's got this little kind of almost hourglass shape. My hip comes out just enough to hold a kid on. I'm balanced, the male and feminine energy. I'm definitely dude energy, but yeah, man, I'm cool with my female side. And the features that show most in me, like I said, like the facial structure, bone structure, all comes from that side. It's my grandma's side. But she got, because I got some of them behind my knees. Um, and I got great circulation too, and like get a lot of water in me, and don't got a lot of fat, but getting the spider vein stuff in some of them areas. And I think it has to do with circulation because I have issues with my hands too, but I also know I have arthritis. But if you look at my hands, I don't got debilitating arthritis to where it looks like, this. So I'm thinking a lot of that has to do with circulation because I've talked to the doctors. I don't have carpal tunnel. The only issue I've had outside of that is I get bursitis, but it hasn't been messing with me pretty much since I stopped doing weed eating work on hillsides that looked like this because they used to hit me with a lot of cortisone and shit. I have a shoulder. I have like I can pull this, and sometimes too much aggravation there. So they was hitting me with cortisone there. My hip, I got issues there. Of course, you get hit by a truck, that happens. So whatever. A lot of it hasn't been bothering me as much now. I mean, I still have issues, but not enough to where I'm gonna run to the doctor and get a shot of cortisone. I just deal with it, man. Yeah, well, it's been easy for me because I've been raised around very strong, divine feminine energy. My mom being one of them. Important years, teenage years, man. Um, I started seeing my dad too, but I lived at home with my mom and my brother. And I had an aunt that was an engineer for IBM. I had all these women around me that had good, strong feminine energy. Protective energy. So, and I was raised in, like I said, things like the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and stuff. So, I'm a guy that still to this day I will hold open a door, but of course I hold open a door for anybody. Car door, pull out a chair for a lady. I walk on a certain side of the road, which for me is protection from traffic. But I found out looking in history, the reason we originally started doing that is because people threw chamber pots out the window. So if you're closer to the wall, I guess it didn't get flung on you. So the guy would stay more towards the outside because I guess if anyone's getting shit flung on him or poo, sorry, it shall be the man. Well, I'm glad it ain't that way now, but you know, whatever. Two mindness. Childbearing hips. Exactly. Those are the hips that a lady would probably want if they're gonna have a kid because I've known some that's had narrow, hips and things and end up having a big headed kid, for example. Yeah, man. you need to be shaped a certain way for things to just pop out of you, I guess. I'm so glad that I'm not a woman in that way, and that's where I get a lot of high respect from too, man. You know, we fertilize. Women have to hold baby, grow baby, have baby come out. And I know um, my ex, who's actually a very good friend of mine, uh, I know what she went through, man, because I was tuned into her really well, and she was having my child, and I loved her to death. So, man, I swear to you, I would say stuff to her. I'm like, oh man, and I'd tell her how I feel and stuff, and she's like tripping out, like that's exactly how I feel. And I was like, man, I heard of this stuff before, but this is getting ridiculous. It's one thing to have sympathy pains, but I had sympathy everything. But I was also talking to my daughter in the womb, like as she grew, letting her get used to the vibration of my voice, and which was really cool because when she was born, you know, they were doing all the stuff where they would clean her up and everything, and moving her around, and finally she just started crying. Um, and I turned around and said her name really soft like, and all of a sudden she stopped, and you could see with her eyes, she's trying to figure out where's that sound coming from. That is very familiar. And I thought that was just so neat. That was just really cool. And that was before I studied vibration really like I do now. But even back then, when I was learning music and stuff, I remember I was also we were building speaker boxes for the guys in the neighborhood, because it was during the '80s and everybody was putting big bass speakers in their cars. And I got a book from the library on acoustics once, and man, I remember looking through that book and I was like, nope, I'm just going to use my intuition to figure out how much air, by experimenting in my intuition, how much air that speaker's throwing. Because when I looked at it, it was basically geometry and algebra, and I went, no, 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 no. I'm not doing that. But actually, that's what you got to do to figure out all that stuff. Acoustic guitar, anything, everything in the whole universe is made from math and vibration, you know, vibration creating light, and then that, blah, blah, and you got us. But, yeah, everything's boils down to math and vibration. Rhonda. Oh, hello. I'm glad I seen where Mike said, or where you said that, Mice guys. I seen hello there, Rhonda, and I went, oh, okay. How you doing, Rhonda? Welcome to the Church of Love. Do you like some entertainment? And usually mention this on here. Do sock puppets, singing or singing. I can do some singing. uh, dance. Maybe I could do a skit. Nah, no freestyle rap today. That gives kind of a certain kind of vibe I don't really want. I want happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. That's the vibe I want. Actually, that's the vibe I am. I am that vibe. Feel me. There was an overhang in the old days. An overhang of what? Hold on. Maybe I ought to go up and read what's above there. Oh, probably was talking about the chamber pot stuff, whatever. Oh yeah, coming over. Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying. That makes sense. Man, that'd have to be horrible. Walking around a time where it's like, yeah, this thing's all full of whatever, and flinging out the window. It's like, whoa, that's so. Man, I read some stuff from history that's it's just really gross. It's like why we start shaking hands with the right hand because the left hand is the dirty hand. It's. I'm glad we have toilet paper and you know indoor plumbing at the moment. I've lived in areas that still have outbuildings and stuff. I mean, when I lived in West Virginia, you can still find areas like that. And I cut grass at a church where that's what it was. It was just, three little walls, a little roof thing, a bee's nest up in there, bees flying around, and a hole in the ground that smelled, well, that smelled. Hey, sorry, y'all. I need to shave. It makes my face kind of look dirty. I just noticed that in there. It's like, what the heck you got going on? I'm not into doing the whole beard thing because then, for me, it's a matter of hygiene. You know, it's easier to keep my face clean if it's nice and smooth. I start the beard thing, then I got to worry about stuff getting in my fur. My fur, I guess, my face fur while I eat or while I do anything. I mean, I even mess around in the woods a lot. When I have to check it for ticks, you know. Well, I don't here, but I'm going back to the woods, and that's what I'll do. Actually, I have pretty much made my decision, and like if I'm here, and let's say this is the western part of America, this is the eastern. Yeah, I don't think I'm headed this way now. I think I'm just going to head south a little bit, head back for the Appalachian Range, in which I lived 12 years and loved. So I'll head back that direction. I don't. I don't really want to get in the middle of an area that's just nothing but massive flat land right next to Tornado Alley type of just. And it's nothing to do with the weather. It's just like I convinced myself years ago I'm a mountain man while I was living on top of that ridge top. And I think it got into my heart and soul. So if the ground don't roll, I don't like it. Hey, I'm rhyming again. My heart and soul roll. Got into my heart and soul. If that ground don't roll, I say no. There's a great thing about living in West Virginia. They call it the mountain state. There is no flat ground. There's stuff that's almost flat or pretty close to flat, but it's man made. It's been farmed, because it's easier for some of the farmers just to get everything right if it's on nice flat ground. But outside of that, it ain't flat. Ha 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 ha. You knew something was going to rhyme. You just knew it was. 5, 6 people. Okay, 6 people. What are y'all up to? Anybody got anything interesting to talk about? Hey, they said that I think it's only like B. I think the last one was C. But the magnetosphere is down a little bit. So within about 2 days, that eruption off the sun, a B-class solar flare coming this direction. Wouldn't think it'd be a big deal, but if your electronics start acting all goofy, that's why. So just keep that in mind. I was hearing that earlier because I was wondering. I seen the other day where it popped off. So it takes a couple days to get here. So by about 2 days from now, you know, if electronics get a little weird, that's why. More than likely, phones and stuff. Satellites. You know how that stuff is. All right, people. Did anybody watch the last video I did? I was just talking, and then at the end of it, I put a prayer type of meditation, good thought thing out there. And I went ahead and did the same thing on Facebook, except for it was just that. And I thought of just going ahead and sending that out by itself, the Facebook version of it that I did. Um, but I think I'm coming to a whole thing now, and it's funny because a lot of people are starting to say this stuff, and it's starting to venture together because, I'm like, everybody's got to be able to understand this, even if you don't believe in God. If you believe in love, you just got to be able to understand what I'm saying. And prayer kind of bugs a lot of people out. So love intention. You can call it a prayer, you can call it meditation, you can call it whatever you want. And I don't care what you believe. As long as you believe in love and everybody getting along. If you say there is no God, that's fine. That's your belief. Do you believe we all should get along? Do you believe in peace and love being the answer? If you say yes, then boom, send that out as a love intention. So I think I might start doing those ever so often, um, just to send out. It's good sentiment. You know what I mean? And I gotta probably should start going back to Facebook and doing the smile thing. Trying to get that to go viral. Everybody smile. I had a friend that was just really feeling down one day because all the masks, nobody's smiling. So I just did, a quick pic thing there on the computer. Took a picture of myself smiling. And a few more people did it. She got real happy about it and said, almost brought tears to her eyes. And I'm like, you know what? We need to do that. If we're going to make anything viral, it should be smiles because right now that's exactly what we need to do. They're like, cover that face. How about we all just laugh and smile instead? You know what I mean? Just and dance. Oh my God! I've been dancing around the stores every time I go. That's cool, man. Every time I go to the store, they seem like I said, I had Freeze Frame from Jake Isles Band today. The other day when I went to the store, it was Raspberry Beret, and it's like every time these songs start playing, it does not matter. There could be 500 people standing there. Just as long as I have enough path to move through everybody, I'm just gonna dance my way right to where I'm going. And the thing is when I made myself aware of it, I got into it more because I went, yeah, you're dancing around the store. And I'm like, you daggone right. And you know what? People are wearing masks and looking half depressed. So let's really dance around the store. Smile big. Yeah, you seen me. You know, do a spin move. Oh man, let's get funky. I tell you what, if that's what it takes to get smiles, is to cause some people to go into hysterical laughing fits, even if it's at me, I don't care. I just want to see people smile. That's all. You know, I look at it this way: they put all these masks on people, and now there ain't as many smiles. Okay, well, I'm going to cover for all the people as many people as I can who can't smile. I'm going to go to the deepest place in my heart and I'm going to say, let's see how many people are in Walmart that can't smile right now. Let's see if my energy can cover every one of them. I'll do the smiles for all of you. Keep that in your head. Just smile big and dance. 'Cause I'm telling you, if you have that thought pattern, it's like the universe works with you and creates your actual reality. And when you go to the store, it's like, yeah, so and so's here. Let's play this tune. There you go. Dance, man. uh, do a video upload to Facebook. Well, here's the thing, Mike. I don't know if you noticed what I was saying a minute ago. Back to the plan of Virginia, quite possibly. We'll see what happens. That was the original, but it's the cannabis laws that made me go. But I love the areas. It's home. It's the mountains, man. You know, that's where I lived for 12 years. Was Appalachian Mountains there in West Virginia. I hated leaving, but they had me on all them damn prescription drugs and wouldn't let me smoke weed. You know, and the only way I could get any weed was to buy this crap that was coming in from Mexico that was poisoned and nasty. You know, you could try and grow it in your house. I mean, I got so lucky that I tried once and then it didn't work out. And before you knew it, we had some issue up on the hill. Some little girl got lost in the woods. They had a helicopter out there, police everywhere, and we knew some of the police. And they had to go door to door and check everybody's house because they walked in my house. Luckily, I didn't have anything growing in there, but I was like, man, I hope they don't pay attention to that. I opens the closet, and there's like a piece of mylar going along the back. But they didn't give two shits. They were looking for the kid. Kid wasn't there. No big deal. Plus, I was part of the neighborhood walking around flashlight group. That's how I lost my flashlights. Was lending out flashlights that night. Crazy. But you know, we'll see where the universe takes me. I've got an offer to get land. I'm not sure exactly how much or what it's going to take to get it, but I've also had other offers. As far as a place to stay and maybe possibly a place to stay while I, wait to put something on the land. I don't know. But I look at it this way: if I go all the way out to Missouri, I'm part of somebody else's plan and I'm not exactly sure what that is right now. So if I give up everything I got for that and I go out there, I've looked at the area. There is nothing. It's at the edge of Kansas. There's absolutely nothing. There's a town of 1,159 people. And there's a basic few things in the town, but I could not find one department store or one grocery store. And outside of that, there is not another town for miles upon miles upon miles. It's just flat land, At least if I do the same thing somewhere else, the thing is I'm already around people that to me are family and know me as family. Um, and one of those people is very protective of me, Uh, sister sister with good mother sister energy, and a whole family that's been watching. Some of them's watched my videos and feel as they know me. So that's a plus in that direction. The actual vibe of the land itself is calling me, and I know the people, and when I talk to her on the phone, it's exactly what it feels like, family. And the accent and the speed in which you know this person talks, and they talk in that area, reminds me of being back towards West Virginia, which is calming to me because everybody talks way too damn fast up here, including me. Watch what happens when I go back to the country. These live feeds might get longer. You're in the area storytellers. I mean, it was a normal thing to, ask somebody something, and they're like, as soon as they start to take in that breath, it's going to be a long one. Back when I was 6 years old. Now, let me prefix that with something. Hold on. My Uncle Fred, then you go back to 6, and then you go all the way back to the now because the question was about something that's in the now. But you get a great story. If you're not in a big hurry in life, you got time for the story. A lot of my friends up here in the north, they don't have time for the story because they pack their lives full of all the stuff that they say to pack your lives full of through here. I don't need to do that. You know, the government said, okay, you don't have to work a regular job anymore. Here's a basic check. Okay, a basic check don't get me that far. But if I'm on my own land, it does. Because now I can start growing my food again. If I decide I want to heat with a different source of heating, I have that option. You know, I could build or head, if I'm a camper, I could do propane. If I get a place near the woods, maybe I can do wood. Used to do that too. There's just many different options if I'm setting up my own thing. And then all the other stuff that I'd like to do, I don't have to okay it with anybody. I can just do whatever it is I'm going to do, which is pretty much down the road become a healer in every modality that I can. I'll figure out acupuncture. I'm already working on the energy work. I already know a good amount about plants, but I'm still currently learning about both of those, of course, because there's a lot to learn. Uh, Music, that's another one I'm working on. That's why that bass stays tuned into stuff that's within the solfeggio frequencies, because I can actually feel the difference. Plus, I know, like all you do, by watching, stuff as far as cymatics and what happens. And being as we're comprised of a lot of water and it affects water molecules, yeah, man, I got to keep that thing tuned a certain way. I don't want to mess with the water molecules in my body. Did they find the girl? What girl? Who we looking for? Oh, wow, there's only one person here. Okay. People got bored real fast. All right. Well, I pretty much just come here to spread love. Blue Bottle, if you're still here, I'm not sure who you're talking about. I didn't really have no story. I don't think. Unless I said something earlier, I don't remember. Was it what I was talking about just a minute ago? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was strange, man. She was in the woods. She come walking out of the woods the next day. I can't really say that was a really strange place to live. Um, it was all family up there, and there was a lot of people talking, and contemplating what they thought might have happened. I don't know, man. It seems kind of set up as I don't know how to put it. It was really strange. That same place, I mean, I've lived in Detroit and didn't even run into some of the stuff I did over there. That same place, I ended up on the news. Ended up in the police car with the state police giving a report of everything that I had seen one night, which was nothing other than my neighbor's house burning to the ground. because I'm the one that called it into the 911. But the thing was after that they found two. Well, they found one of the neighbors. They didn't find her boyfriend. They never did find him. They found her and her cousin about 5 miles away, buried in a shallow grave, and they burnt the trailer down right across the street from me. Because I woke up to go take a pee and had one of the little fogged out windows that you have in the bathroom, and all I seen was bright orange, and I'm like, that is not them over there burning sticks and twigs in that drum like they do. I said, that's way too bright. So I walked in the kitchen, and I looked out, and the place was on fire, and I remember grabbing the phone, and I went out on the porch, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm like, I said, it's burning to the ground, and then all of a sudden 911 picks up, and they said, what's burning to the ground? I said, the house across the street from me. And I had this girlfriend at the time, and I remember she was like tugging on my arm. And I'm like, "What?" And she's trying to hand me a robe, and I look down. I didn't have no clothes on. I didn't think nothing about it, man. I was like, "The house is burning to the ground. That's not a normal thing you see." I'd seen them there earlier in the day cutting the grass. They didn't know him real well because the girl had an ankle monitor on, was in trouble for some things, and long story short, after they found them two dead and found out they were murdered, I said to myself, I don't care whatever happens of this. I don't know anything. I barely knew the people, and I'm not talking to no more people about this because people wound up dead. Yep, I don't know nothing. House burnt down. That's all I know. All done. But yeah, they found that girl. She's how old was she? Somewhere roughly around 9 or something. Um, but from what she had said, she had been in the woods all night, which was kind of odd. Back in that area of the woods, because there is coyotes back there. Because one of the neighbors had actually shot a coyote and had it over at the house because there was just getting to be too much. There was too many, and they were starting to creep out of the woods, and they wouldn't mess around too much because there was a lot of bigger dogs. But every now and then, somebody would have a little dog, and it would wander off, get too close to the woods, and boom, yep, it's gone. And you know what happened to it? It's coyotes. You know, you could hear them sometimes. Um, but outside of that, even bears back in the day, they had bears that went up in there, but not really so much by the time I had gotten to that area. But they used to have black bears back in that area many years back. Yep, West Virginia, West by God, Virginia, wild and wonderful, great place, man. You like the outdoors. It's a beautiful state. I guarantee you, I go back down near there, live anywhere near there, I'll be going right back into that state, going to the same places I used to fish at. I wish I had the picture still sitting out here. It's funny, man. Just throw away cameras, and I got some awesome pictures, man. The Gauley River coming off of Summersville Dam, big what do they call this? Big reservoir, man-made floodplain reservoir, but it's like 300 feet deep. They said it's the tallest earthen dam that side of the Mississippi. You know, and it's pretty cool because they get rafters and stuff out there and kayakers. And there's also big gorges there. With like the New River Gorge Bridge is second highest bridge in the country, um, and it's over one of the oldest rivers in North America. New River. It's pretty cool, man. They also do base jumping off that, but they also do wall climbing. So they get money generated into the area from that stuff. So at the end of the year, they put a lot of trout in the water. Stock it with trout. And at the end of the year, the Rafters Association was turning around and taking some of the profits they made, and as a way of saying thank you to all the people who fish along there for sharing the river with them. Um, they would send money to the DNR, and the DNR would fly a helicopter in there and then you know drop a bunch of fish in there because there's a lot of areas back in there when you hike it because it's along the side of a mountain. It's in the mountains, but it's also along the side of a mountain. Um, you you get back in some areas that's not accessible to any kind of vehicle. So for them to stock the water, they just go in there with a helicopter, fly low, and drop the fish right out the bottom. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what? I think them Panthers are stretched out, and they're the states. I don't know if there's so much lying about it, or if they're just not really paying attention. But years back, I seen stuff like on the show Monster Quest, and not just Monster Quest, but I know people in West Virginia and Kentucky they're hearing the same thing. They said it's got a specific sound, They said like a baby or a woman screaming, and that's what it is, panthers. But, I know for a fact, according to the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources, because I worked for them, there was no panthers in the area. But it's kind of funny. They said all the bobcats were gone too. But it's kind of funny too, though, because the state will tell you we have these snakes, this state don't. Well, do you think a state observes a state line? I don't think so. you know, so the animals are not going to go. Hey, we can't go over to Maryland, guys. We don't exist there. We got to stay right here in West Virginia. I don't think it works that way, but whatever. You know, I tell you what, a black panther is enough reason to make me not want to be in the woods, and I love being in the woods. But them big cats are crazy, man. Literally, there's people. I've heard from so many survival experts and stuff. One of the things to do is wear a hat. Literally, just get you them little like Cookie Monster googly eye things you put on crafts and stuff, or little dolls or stuffed animals, and literally put them on the back of your hat so they move around, and it literally tricks some of them cats to not mess with you because the predators, they want to get you from behind and stuff. They don't want to go up face to face with you. You know. Now I don't know about Black Panther's pretty big, but I've heard them say that even in big cat areas. Like I think Les, I don't know if it's Les Stroud or if it's the other guy. One of them guys was talking about that stuff when they was over in Africa. I remember putting the eyes on the back of the thing, and I've heard quite a few other ones talk about that. That's crazy, knowing that you got animals in the middle of the woods where you got to put eyes in the back of your head. Oh man. Hey, it jumped back up to four people. See, I don't know if it's just a computer thing if people really stay here, but you never know with these computers. It could be saying something totally different than what's actually going on. Yeah, I believe you. Because, like I said, I've seen them other people, and they've gave their reports and stuff. And the people that are giving a lot of these reports um, of seeing things in the woods are hunters. And I believe them because I've been raised around hunters, even coming from the city, Columbus, Ohio. I'm in Ohio. You go too far out of any town or city in Ohio, well, you're back in the country and people hunt. So hunters see everything in the woods. They're the ones that's going to be like, if you thought you saw Bigfoot, tell you, no, it's this or that. But some of them see those things. So when they're reporting that stuff, or anybody that lives in a certain area that's lived there their whole life and is used to the, flora and fauna, used to the animals and plants within their area, um, then yeah, man, if they say they've seen it, and a lot of times they'll tell you, and they're like, look, it wasn't a big this or a dog or a bear or whatever. I know these things. I've lived here 40 some years or my whole life or whatever. You know, so people who are used to the animals in the area, know what's there, and they're not usually going to be the ones that goes, oh, I think it was this. No, they're going to go, oh no, it was this, and it was off at a distance and looked like that. One of those kind of things. Cross the road in front of your car. Yeah, that's not something I want crossing the road in front of my car. You know, that's kind of trippy. I used to see deer and turkey all the time. Where I lived, everywhere. I literally seen turkey walking down a main road one day, but I was tripping out about it because we've seen turkeys all over, but they're wild. They don't act that way. And I said something to the guy that was driving the vehicle, and he said, "I said, what I think of these?" He said they got a like, it's not a it's not a petting zoo, but it's somewhere right down the road, literally, where they got some more tame or domesticated animals like that. I don't know, turkey farm maybe or something, because it was literally walking down the yellow lines in the road, and we're turning at a stoplight to go over to a freeway, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm seeing this because the guy that I'm with, this guy, he's not into drugs or anything, so. When I was going to work with him, it wasn't like I was high or anything. I was straight. And I don't drink or anything, just smoke weed. So I wasn't high that day, and I seen a turkey walking down the middle of the road. So of course I had to say something. And he looked over and he's like, "Oh yeah," and that's when he said that. So But yeah, I used to see wild turkeys and stuff all the time. My mom's ex-husband actually, he hunted everything, and it was funny. He's a little short guy, bald headed. Yeah, I love the guy to death, but he actually did kind of remind me of Elmer Fudd, and he was in the Boilermakers Union, and they wouldn't let him have turkey season off, so he took um I don't know, arm, claw, whatever you want to call it, from a turkey, and literally it had dried to where one of the, its claws, talons, whatever you want to call that, was sticking up like a middle finger, and sent it to the foreman that was running the thing for not giving him time off turkey season, which is crazy because down in that area, Southern Ohio and West Virginia, both, everybody, it was like national holiday. You got deer season off. I worked at a sawmill, and I talked to the guy. I said, I can't afford to take deer season off, and I don't deer hunt right now. He said, yeah, man. He said, I'd let you come to work. He said, but it'd only be you and one other guy. And he said, the electricity bill it takes me to run this sawmill for one day wouldn't cover you guys' work. And he said, if it was up to me, everybody'd be working. He said, but I've tried that. He said, they just don't come in. And then I worked at another sawmill in Southern Ohio, and most of our workforce was Amish people from Ohio. They ran everything, and us English or white people just stacked wood. And I just say white people because that's all there was in that area. Um, so we observed the Ohio hunting season, but not the West Virginia one. It was kind of screwed up. There wasn't enough people there, even though we were in West Virginia, to take the West Virginia time off, but they got the Ohio one off. Crazy. Man, I feel like I need to eat something. Oh, yeah, I had an orange. I don't want to really sit here and go through all that peeling an orange. I probably should go in there. Let's see here. I've been on here almost an hour. I probably should really go in there and make some kind of food instead of just like snacking on little bits of stuff. Go eat something more solid, you know, because I'm feeling good. And like I said, I've done all kind of cleansing, Epsom salt, this charcoal clay bath soap, and grounding myself. And plus when I'm walking outside to take the dog out, I'm not wearing shoes or anything. Um, Fortunately, it's not raining, so I can do that. Just got to be careful if you go to the dog lot. You know, it's like a great big dog toilet. You don't want to really be walking around there with no shoes on. Even though people clean, most people clean up stuff over there. Still, it's like a giant dog toilet. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get off here. You know, and who knows? I might show back up later. I might not. I go with flow. I don't schedule these things. I guess if I had talking points, which sometimes I do, but they just come to me because of flow. Um, but because I'm not an actual teacher per se, and I got a whole uh, shoot, I know the word for it. A whole little thing that I'm trying to teach there. I just come on here when flow sends me. Sometimes it'll be a message, and sometimes you know how it is. It's just to hang out with y'all, spread some love. So I might be on later. I might not. And if I'm not, then much love to you and everyone you love and everyone else and all things in existence. And have a great day or evening. And remember, we are the conscious evolution. Hey, man, and try getting you some natural foods in your body. That's very important too now. Don't be pulling everything out of a can or, microwave food unless you want to feel like crap. And I quite frankly don't want to feel like crap. So I'm not perfect. This is not an organic orange, but try affording organic stuff when you're getting state or government assistance. At that point, you go, nah, I need land to grow my own stuff. I already got all the heirloom seeds sitting in there, so I'll just go find my own patch of dirt and grow my own food. And hey, let that be another suggestion. You want away from the city and all this crap? Do that. Find you a patch of dirt, grow some food. Even if you just have to live in a camper, you're going to be better off than what this societal experiment is giving you. Peace and love. Great day.